23-008.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, we're going to start. Welcome to the December 5th meeting of the Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals. With us this evening, we have Building Inspector Steve Hughes, Village Attorney Rob Zitt, and sitting in the audience, we have Board of Trustees Liaison David Heiser. We have a full complement of the board this month. So each applicant, in order to be successful with the application, needs to have 3 of the 5 members voting in the affirmative for a variance to be approved. We have but one application this evening, and that application is number ZBA 23-008, and it is an application for a new roof over front entry and den entry, slate patio, stairs at 105 Lincoln Avenue. If you're going to be making a presentation, please come to the front, state your name, your affiliation with the applicant. Rob, is this the time to open the public hearing, or do we wait for the person to introduce themselves?
I would ask that you open the public hearing.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
We're so formal, thank you. No, I know when to do it and when I don't have to do it. That's the key. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Okay, I am John Ferraro. I am the architect of record for the Moran residence on 105 Lincoln Avenue. We have the privilege of having the owners with us this evening, and we're here just to address some of the concerns of the last ZBA meeting, and I have it up here on the screens as well.
Okay. Can you focus in your presentation, for the benefit of the viewing audience? By the way, viewing is brought to you by Fred Seifert, somewhere in the hallowed halls of the facility. Just give us the delta on what you had proposed, what you're proposing now.
Okay. So right here, if I scroll in, we're looking at a site plan right now. The area right there, which is 50 square feet, has been removed, and we pushed the whole patio back towards the house about 5 feet.
And that triangle, that little triangle?
Let me make it darker for you. Just
Okay.
give me a second. That's the area that has been removed based on the comments from the last meeting.
And in its place?
In its place is nothing. It's
Okay.
land.
Okay. And that was the concern that was brought up by the FA. Now, Steve, can you indicate why, even after the reduction, there's still a requirement for a variance?
Yes, so it doesn't change the variance because to the left of that patio that's removed, you still have the stairs and the landing that still is in the bumps out.
I mean, I think it's 35 feet, so anything over 0.4 feet would require a variance.
Exactly. Again, sometimes we do things for the benefit of the viewing audience who doesn't always watch us on a month-to-month basis. Okay, very good.
Otherwise, we get a lot of write-in questions and.
Right, sure. You know, and the existing nonconformance is being maintained, which is the stairs.
Right, exactly. Okay, and just as a, I guess, an aside type question, how did the presentation to the owners go in terms of their concerns?
Well, they didn't seem to have any objection to it. I was able to share it with them in both 3D and the 2 views I just showed you.
Right.
And they were okay with it. They gave me the approval to proceed to this meeting.
Okay, very
So
good.
just to be clear, what's being removed is the area under those 4 columns.
Well, that used to be where these little bushes are now. We took that out. It used to come out as far as here.
Mhm.
So we just pushed it back in.
Right. Okay.
So you're still going to have that platform, just it's not as extended out as it was.
Correct.
How much was it on the first proposal, and how much is it now?
I think we went from 12 feet to 7 feet.
Okay.
Good. Okay. And any other questions of the architect? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak in favor of the application? Anyone want to speak against the application? And it's my understanding that there have been no written communications regarding this application.
That's correct.
Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing so we can
So
discuss? Seconded?
Second.
Okay. Personally, I want to thank the architect and the applicants for, being so accommodating in terms of making the changes that were made, to the application. I think it's always appreciated by the board because one of our goals is to have the smallest possible variance to be given in each application. So we certainly appreciate the work that was gone through at that time. It would be nice if we could just do an online dynamic change, have everybody approve it, and then not having to wait a month. Now, is this application going before who next? Is it just ARB? Steve?
No, planning board is.
It goes to
on
planning?
Thursday. Yeah.
For what aspect of it?
I don't know, to be honest with you, but we were told we had to go to the planning board for approval after we get this approval.
Okay, I'm wondering what they will be doing with the application.
Don, do we need to be concerned about enclosing that, the possibility of enclosing that area?
We always condition the application so that any future development or thoughts of enclosing the items. So, we would, if everyone agrees, to add an additional condition that the portico not be enclosed in the future.
We don't want the whole house creeping forward, basically.
And
Yeah,
and that's very common. Whenever a variance is granted, it's granted with the condition that it's not
And
increased.
you can't build above it.
Do you know the height of the portico, from the ground?
From where?
From the ground, the retaining wall or, right. I'm just trying to figure out the height, and I don't see any fence or railing or anything, and I'm just wondering if,
Well, the retaining wall will taper into the land. So if by some chance that becomes 18 inches or more, then we're required to put a rail, but it won't.
oh, okay.
That becomes, I guess, an administrative call, right, at some point, Steve?
Yeah, it's a code call, yeah.
Okay.
When we do the hardscaping, we'll be sure to keep it below the required dimension for railing.
Yeah, I was just wondering, just looking at that. Okay.
All right, let me run through the 5 factors. Any other additional comments? Okay. Running through the 5 factors, the variance, because I'm not going to repeat them when I get to it. Variance will not create an adverse impact to the character of the neighborhood. The benefit the applicant seeks cannot be achieved through another method feasible for the applicants to pursue that does not require the variance. 3, the variances are substantial, that encroachment. The variance will not create any adverse impacts to the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood. And 5, the need for the variance is self-created. Okay with that? All right, let's go ahead. Whereas the application has been made to the Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals by John Ferraro, R.A., on behalf of property owners Erin Moran-Atkin and Miriam Lagunas-Fitta, the applicants, for a scenic roads overlay district vegetative buffer setback variance of 12.2 feet, where the minimum required scenic road overlay district vegetative buffer setback is 35 feet pursuant to Village Code 250-7, Section F, Item 6, Part C, in connection with the proposed site plan approval for a new roof over the entry and den, along with the new slate patio, retaining wall, and concrete stairway at a single-family residence located at 105 Lincoln Avenue, known as Section 135.14, Block 1, Lot 12, on the Town of Rye tax map in the R12 zoning district and the Scenic Roads Overlay District. Whereas upon referral by the Village of Rybrook Planning Board, a duly advertised public hearing on the application was held before the Village of Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals on November 7th, at which time we want to say, and December 5th?
Bless you.
Okay. And December 5th, 2023, at which time all those wishing to be heard in the application were given such opportunity. Bless you. Whereas the board closed the public hearing on December 5th, 2023, and whereas the proposed action is a type 2 action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and accordingly no further environmental review is required. Whereas the board, from the application after viewing the premises and neighborhood concern, and upon considering each of the factors set forth at Section 250-13, Section G, Part 2, Item B, Part 2, A through E of the Rybrook Code, finds with respect to the variances, the 5 factors which I went over before. Now therefore be it resolved that said application for a scenic roads overlay district, vegetative buffer setback variance of 12.2 feet, where the minimum required scenic road overlay district vegetative buffer setback is 35 feet pursuant to Village Code 250-7, Part F, Section 6, Item C, is hereby provisionally granted, subject to the following conditions. No permit or certificate of occupancy shall be issued until the applicants have paid in full all application and consultant fees incurred by the village in connection with the review of this application. And secondly, now, Rob, do you want to state what that would be?
Yeah. The portico, as identified on plans dated, I believe it was November 21st, 2023, shall not be enclosed.
We're referring to both porticos or porch areas, whatever you want to call them. By the front door as well as
Right.
off to the side there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Got that?
As well as building above it.
Okay, are we comfortable as is?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a vote. Steve?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Don, yes. Application approved, 5 yeses, 0 nays. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you're going to start tomorrow?
Hammer in hand.
Okay.
Out of the truck.
Very good, before the ground hardens. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Okay, the second item that we're going to talk about is getting a possibility of a new start time. If we could just to get an indication of how the other standing committees of the village are run. Steve, do you want to summarize both the planning board and the board of trustees in terms of their timing?
Yeah, so the ARB board meets at 7:30. The planning board has changed their meeting time to 6:30, and the board of trustees has a work session at 7 and a public meeting at 7:30.
Okay, so let's just sort of get a sense of everyone. The reason I believe we started at 8 o'clock was when I first came on the board, virtually everyone was a commuter from the city, and the trains were always a challenge, and as a result, they settled, I guess, on an 8 o'clock start time, and that has been in place undisturbed for as long as I've been on the board. However, with the work from home situation and the fact that a lot of people are not in that same commuting mode, it was brought to my attention that could we have an earlier start time? And so what I'd like to do is get a sense from the folks. I'd like to express the pros and cons of an early. So somebody wants to hit on the pros of starting earlier.
Well, the most obvious pro is obviously we get out of here earlier.
Right.
You know, we finish earlier. We're not running it as late as we sometimes do. And we've been here on rare occasions, but it's happened where we've been here to close to 10 o'clock.
Right, and the old cliche, work expands to fill the vacuum. You know, sometimes it may lead to longer sessions. My experience has been when we've had a really controversial application or many applications, that's when we tended to run
Right.
to the hour, and it was really unfair to the people who were last in line who had to sit through a lot of that just to get to their relatively simple application. Okay? The other advantage, I think, is that the folks who are, I don't want to say, let's say, who are supportive of this committee, and that is Steve's, your office closes, what, at 4:30? 4:30, and since he's a representative of this committee, he stays around until 8 o'clock. Obviously, he can do additional work, but he's on our clock. And secondly, legal counsel has traditionally been a significant commute. So, it would be helpful to the support staff to be able to finish earlier and get to their base destination sooner. David, if I could solicit your take on, since you're the liaison to this committee, does that issue of an earlier start time affect you adversely?
To be honest with you, I do this for planning and this, so these are my two extremes, if you will.
Correct.
And I'm happy with both of them.
Okay, very good, thank you. Any negatives? The negative, I think, is the commute. That would be the, I guess, Joel, you had indicated, starting at 7 o'clock.
I'm not
Would be-
a fan of starting at 7 o'clock
I think
personally.
7 is a little too early, because
Yeah.
if I do commute and then try to get dinner beforehand, it's somewhat of a rush. So 7:30 is fine with me.
And right now, I'm not commuting, but you never know if things ever change.
I am commuting still.
Okay. Jamie, are you a commuter?
I'm White Plains,
Oh, okay.
so I'm whatever you guys are good with.
I'm on Long Island Tuesday and Wednesdays, but to be honest, I can go any day, could leave any day, doesn't really matter. Those are my days, but I really have flexibility, so I could even leave early. The only issue with me on Tuesday, and it's fine, is that the commute is kind of long, leaving it like at certain times, and I don't know. Today was a short one, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I would leave earlier, so for me, whatever's best for the committee is fine. And I actually like a little earlier,
I would too.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's finish that and I have a question.
No, as long as someone reminds me.
That might be a good policy, just the way we've been meeting frequently or infrequently, it might be a good idea to give everybody a heads up.
Tara's pretty good about
Yeah.
keeping us updated.
Okay. Did you want to finish something?
Let's finish this, then I have a different question for you.
Okay, no, I would need someone to make a motion to start at a specific time, and then we can vote on that.
I've moved to, we start our meetings at 7:30.
Second.
Okay, all right. So do you want to speak to the motion?
I think start earlier, end earlier is a good thing for everybody.
Okay, very good. My only, I guess, Steve, would that be a problem video-wise in terms of starting earlier? I mean,
Fred stays here throughout the day, just like I do. We're here until the meeting, so I don't think we'll put out a notice on the website that the meeting will.
okay, what do we have to do? Are there rules that specify the 8 o'clock that we may have to amend? I'm not,
I'll check with Chris Bradbury just to be sure, but I think we're just a notification and change on the website.
okay.
Yeah.
And would it be necessary to inform, would be a nightmare to do, the professionals that normally expect us to start at 8 o'clock, and if they,
I think they'll figure it out when they get the notice of the meeting.
She gives all the instructions there, so, like I said, I'm pretty sure many of them would appreciate also, getting in a little early if they could, so, but we do it in the email notification.
okay, very good.
And I'm sure there'll be a mistake or two the first time somebody appears after thinking it was 8, yeah.
Can I make a suggestion? How about sending out a calendar invite? I mean, I don't know. So it's in your calendar. I mean, I put them in mine, but no, you guys don't use your.
Wait, that would be Tara, right?
Yeah, that would be Tara. If you want to do that for the first couple, just to get everybody, in sync.
Yeah,
we can
fine.
do that.
I love the idea.
I was saying it mostly for you.
I know you were.
'Cause I do my own.
Because I'm the
I
only
was gonna
person-
invite you to
I'm the only
mine.
person you didn't look at, so I know.
I know Don.
Guilty too,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I
Okay.
missed a couple, I completely forgot.
Joel
But-
forgot one.
I've done one
Yeah.
or twice.
Don, can I ask something?
I
You
remember
you
that.
said that doesn't change the wait for
I
people at
feel
the end.
horrible.
Whether we start 7:30 or 8, it's unfair or unfortunate they have to wait to the end. But whether we start at 6, 7:30, 8 makes no difference. They're still waiting. Is there an order that is done by application that comes in, or can you determine that one looks a little more challenging?
if there's a repeat.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
If there's a repeat,
Oh.
they get priority. And then, I guess, as the applications come
But
in, they're ordered
My
accordingly.
question was exactly that. Can we front load or back load to get the easy ones out of the way first?
Yeah,
I usually
if-
try to do that. In other words, if I see one's an extension or something, I usually say,
Yeah, but
can
let's say
we?
we got 3 new ones and one is, expanding the driveway and the other is rebuilding the house.
The only reason I would be concerned about that is that you are making a relative assessment
Yes.
as to degree of difficulty, and it
Correct.
could come back and bite us. If somebody is in a challenge, and they come along and they say, you've already prejudged the situation by shifting.
How is the order determined? Based on completion of application?
Yeah, it's based on when it's stamped in and received, when the application is submitted.
Okay, so it's objective, we can't get in
Yeah.
trouble.
But we
The
can
the
always-
ARB, for instance, they have what they call a consent agenda for smaller items, like patios and walkways and fences. They have a mechanism where those are kind of voted on with one
They're
vote,
not
but we don't have
regulated,
that.
so they're not regulated by statute and whatever, so, or subject to judicial challenge, so we've got to be.
I mean, for the board's edification, it's really, it's the chair's show in terms of the agenda. So if there's something that's pressing that jumps out at you, or you feel like you have to maneuver things around on the agenda, you can do that at your discretion.
Right, okay, good. Yeah, we've done that when we've seen that case. All right, let's ask for a vote on this. So the motion is for a 7:30 start time. All right, Steve?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, Joel?
Yes.
Don, yes, okay, so in the future, we start this zoning board at 7:30 PM. And Steve, the next meeting is scheduled for January 2nd.
Right.
Did we usually, that's the first Tuesday, did we usually do anything when it's that close to January 1? I'm not sure, based on the past, I don't remember.
No, because it's a work day, isn't it? People are off on Monday, but they go back to work on Tuesday.
Okay, all right, yeah, I don't have a problem with that, I'm just
It's fine.
trying to.
Do we have anything on the agenda?
Well, we won't,
We won't.
well, I think
You know
so,
what,
right?
January.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in the hopper for January. If they get their revision in, Tara will be double checking on that next week. But yeah, there's a couple of things coming up.
Okay, so we'll meet at 7:30 on January
Already put it in.
2nd. All right, okay.
I would have, but I'm waiting for my Evite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please send Glenn.
Oh, we're getting so formal, we're gonna have to
Please
start
send
wearing
Glenn
suits
an
again.
invite.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so, okay, meeting is adjourned at a good hour.
Record.